Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. It is the 21st anniversary of the Garden State Film Festival. I'm Sophia. I'll be your host today, and I am here with these amazing artists. They have made the short film Daddy's Night. Here to talk to us about it is the writer and director, filmmaker Will Pink, and one of the stars of the film, Lena Josephine Morano. Thank you both so much for joining me. Congratulations on making an awesome film.
Thanks. Thank you for having us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for coming and taking the time out. So yeah, I was telling them before we started this interview how much I enjoyed the film and how reading the little bio and seeing the poster for it, I did not expect what I saw, and I really enjoyed it. So thanks for keeping us on our toes, Will. Um,
hmm
can you get us started by telling us a little bit about yourself, Will, and about the film?
yeah, so I am actually from New Jersey. I grew up in Mountain Lakes, about 30 minutes from the Cranford Theater, and I don't know how far from the other theaters, but yeah, this was my thesis film at Columbia University in the master's film program, which I just finished in October. Um, yeah, and it's a dark comedy. Most of my film work is comedy. So, and it's
Mm,
got some twists and turns.
yes, it does. So most of your film work is comedy. Have you ever done like a horror, this kind of dark comedy like this before?
Yeah. Um, Not this dark maybe, but I've done dark comedy before. Yeah, when I first set out to make something, I was thinking I would do just a straight horror film because I'd never tried that before. But then as I started working on the script, it just kept being funny as well. Um, so I guess I couldn't help myself because that's just where my instincts are.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
but yeah, I was definitely using kind of horror tropes and trying to have fun with
Mm.
it.
Oh, that's great. I'll definitely circle back and then talk to you more about that. But Lena, I would love to see how you first got introduced to this project and how did you feel about the story when you first read it?
So I like adored the story. I love the fact that I was like actually being in like something that like included horror because like I love anything to do with horror. And it's really funny because when I auditioned for this, I was in Pittsburgh during another project that I was doing, and I was on Zoom, and that was when the audition was.
Oh my gosh, always working. That is
Mhm.
amazing. So you love horror, but have you ever been in a horror film before?
Um, Actually, the show that I was in when I auditioned for it, it had kind of like that thriller kind of horror theme. But this was kind of like my main first horror idea, horror
Ah,
comedy.
amazing. And Will, what about Lena really stood out as she's the person to play Betsy?
Um, I don't know. I just kind of knew when I saw her like backstage profile, one of those casting websites. I spent a lot of time just going through like every kid between like 5 and 10 on there, in the New York area. Um, and I just knew I needed like a strong personality who was
Mhm.
funny and could like hold their own against daddy.
Right.
So there needed to be, a level of maturity, but also kind of a biting quality and like the ability to also be like gentle and
Mhm.
naive because I think Lena was 8 when we shot this, but the character was written as a 6-year-old, so I knew I needed to cast a little bit older than 6 because I needed somebody I could really work with. I'm sure there's great 6-year-old actors out there, but I just wanted to be safe. Um, yeah, but she could also play younger when the camera was rolling.
Mm. So, I mean, interesting you bring this up that you kind of wanted to work with an older actor than six, because I would think so too. It seems like this role called for a lot. And also the film itself, I was wondering if you even seen it, Lena, because it's a little, I don't know, I guess it's a little more racy than, a kid's film would. So have you seen the film in its entirety, Lena?
I have seen parts of the film. I'm gonna be
Okay.
honest. My parents have said that I can see some parts, but watch the
So we won't
majority of the film.
we won't give the ending away, but you've seen the ending.
Yeah, I've seen the ending. Yeah,
Okay.
Bendy.
So good. So Will, talk to me about getting the other cast members, the who plays Daddy and the woman who plays Natalie and the mommy in it.
Yeah, so obviously Daddy was the main priority because he carries the film. But something I guess that isn't necessarily apparent is that this is very much like a COVID film. So and it was made in grad school, so there are all these additional restrictions tied to safety. So I actually needed, in order to have my actors touch each other, they needed to be in a pre-existing relationship where they lived together.
Oh,
um, yeah, so I knew I needed to find a couple to play Daddy and Natalie. So they're actually a couple in real life, and they're hilarious, and they do a lot of comedy as a couple online. You can follow them on TikTok at official Home Sweet Home. They have like a ton of followers and are just hilarious. But yeah, back then I'd known Michael randomly. I was on a shoot with him for a day like years earlier, and he just was kind of popped into my head to play Daddy. And I went to his Instagram and saw that he made videos with his partner who he lived with. So it seemed kind of perfect. Um, yeah, so I just reached out to them and asked them if they wanted to do it. And it was COVID, so they weren't doing much and they were down. Um, yeah, but if you actually rewatch the film and look closely, you'll notice that Daddy never touches his wife or his daughter, and he's never even within 3 feet of them. But
wow.
I needed to cast a couple to play the couple that was physical in the film so that they could get close to each other. And then Mommy was just a friend of, I asked Brittany and Michael if they had any friends who they thought could play the Mommy character, and they gave me a few names. And then I saw Cami Dimitrova's stuff, and I really liked her and thought she was great. And I kind of bought her as Lena's mom. And it worked out. I thought she kind of nailed it.
Right. Wow. Everything definitely did work out. And that's such an interesting story that they needed to be living with each other. And then what do you know? Lo and behold, the perfect couple comes to your lap. That's amazing.
Yeah,
So what
yeah.
was it like directing this, especially because there are such intimate scenes, but they're still funny. So what did you find that you really needed as a director to pull this off successfully?
I think just a really high level of like comfort with like creating a space that was really comfortable, and then also just building the relationships with the actors in advance and kind of, we actually couldn't rehearse in person, but we blocked out a lot of the choreography over Zoom where they were just in their bedroom at their apartment, and we were kind of walking through the scenes and doing that. Yeah, and it also really helped that they were a couple in real life because they had so much natural chemistry. We had an intimacy consultant. We didn't have an intimacy coordinator on set, but we talked with someone in advance because it was Brittany and Michael. They're more often purely comedic actors, so they haven't had many opportunities to kind of do these sorts of roles, which I think they were excited about, but they're also a little bit nervous because they're showing a side of themselves, and like they have an intimate relationship that they're kind of putting into these characters, even though they're obviously so different from who they are in real life. Yeah, but so we used the kind of natural comfort they had with each other, but we gave them opportunities to kind of talk about what they were comfortable with and what they might not be comfortable with. We shot all of the scenes in their bedroom in one day. It was a 4-day shoot, but we just did those scenes back to back in one day and just kind of like kept it very, few people in the room, gave them time for whatever they needed. But yeah, they felt comfortable enough that they could still be playful and funny and kind of go for things while also kind of keeping the sex appeal there, hopefully.
Right. And that they did. That's amazing. Lena, what was this like for you? It seemed like you were on like a really awesome, cool set in a comfy bed. Like, did you have a good time? What was this process like?
Okay, it was amazing. That is the main thing I'm going to say. And I say that it was amazing because, first of all, the bed was super comfortable. And like, I totally fell asleep on it at the end, like, totally. But it was really fun filming it, especially with my daddy, because during our scenes where I'm like, there's a monster in my closet, he was like, no. And it kind of bring me like, kind of like nostalgia because like when I'm with my dad, And I used to believe that there were monsters in my closet. I would always have to like persuade him to come. And then he would need to look in my closet. And I would be like, but it's there. And he's like, no, it's not. And so we had like the back and forth kind of relationship in that way. And in the film, it was kind of the same thing, the back and forth relationship in that way. And also, it was just like really fun in general.
Yeah, and it looked awesome. The lighting that you guys had in that bedroom, I mean, it looked like was that mostly done in post or it looked like that the day you guys were
Uh,
shooting?
no, I mean we had a color correction process in post, but
Right.
yeah, no, we lit all of that. Alice Miller was our DP. Gianna Badiali was our gaffer, and they kind of, we had a whole lighting scheme where kind of Betsy's bedroom is this kind of like bluish fantasy world, and the other bedroom is more like red and kind of like the sexy room, and like yeah, there's this whole like devil and angel motif maybe subconsciously. But
Uh,
yeah, but there was definitely like a lighting scheme, and yeah, and just like a note on also that set that Lena was in, there are a lot of moments that made it into the film that were just organic moments of Lena having fun in the room. Like there's a puppet that her character has on her hand at one point, and that's just because while we were shooting, Lena just found this puppet on the bed, started wearing it and playing with it. So I just like let her
yes.
and kept it. And there's another moment where Daddy sits on like a rubber ducky, and I think Lena just like planted it there, and nobody knew it was there, and it like made a sound and was actually funny. So then in subsequent takes, we just kept doing that. So yeah, we kind of just let a lot of the kind of fun moments that were happening become part of the story, or whenever it made sense to.
I love that. I think that probably it's a good director kind of using what you see in the moment instead of what was planned on the paper or in your head and just going with the flow. Lena, true actor, using the props that are around you, improvising with the moment. I love to hear it. How did we first get started with acting?
Okay, so this is my favorite story to tell that I've told 100 million times. So when I was like 5 years old, so I had always loved to like perform and sing for my family. I still have a video when I was singing like "Let It Go" in my basement at like a party, really random. But my mom's friend had noticed that my mom had told her all about how I love to perform. So she asked my mom if I was interested in trying out for a theater play. And it was Christmas Carol, so I did. And I got ensemble and I really loved it. And then I just started doing that so on. And when I got older, I started going to the prep, my professional performance studio, and I started taking lessons there. And I started taking lessons with my still acting coach and singing coach, Miss Teresa, and she said that she she thought that I was ready for an agent. So I went to CESD and I auditioned kind of in person, and they got back to us, and I am still with that agency now, and I've just been doing professional acting, and then I got a manager, and then yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I mean, you definitely chose the right route, and it's only going to get up from here. And
Yeah,
how
I
amazing is that
also
you singing and stuff. Now you're in a horror film. What'd you say, Will?
oh, sorry, not to interrupt. Just I could use an agent and manager if anyone out there watching knows one.
All right, shout out in the comments, everybody.
Shout
If
out.
anyone's actually watching live, but this will also be on YouTube, so write it down there. I
Yeah, in
love it.
5 years, somebody will watch this and it'll come true.
Right.
Yeah.
And then finally tell you this agent. So,
Mm.
guys, for both of you, have you ever heard of the Garden State Film Festival before?
Uh, I hadn't before I did some research and found it, but as like a New Jersey filmmaker, I wanted to have a good premiere in my home state, and yeah, and it seemed like the best option.
Yeah. So you used to live 30 minutes away from where it's screening, which is that's like a full circle for you. So you're coming to the
Mhm.
festival? Well,
Yeah, I'm planning to. I'm like a freelance person, and I might have a job that week, so we'll see. But up
I
until
get
like a
it.
few days ago, I was planning to. So I'm hopeful that I'll be able to.
Oh yeah. Selfishly hoping you don't get a gig that weekend then.
Yeah,
Lena,
me
what
too.
about you? Are you coming to the festival? Have you ever been there before?
No, but I've heard about it. And so I really want to go, and I have a dance competition, my last dance competition on it, but I want to go. So we're going to see what we can do.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Happy you heard about Garden State Film Festival. And before we sign off and tell everyone how we can see Daddy's Night, Will, I would love to hear from you. Any advice you have for other directors, young filmmakers to follow in the same footsteps?
Wow, putting me on the spot.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
about to
I'm
be like
I'm still just getting started, but with the limited experience I have, uh, yeah, I think the main thing is just trusting the people around you and finding people that you trust to work with. Um, yeah, because this film came from my head and my life experience, but um, all the work that I was doing leading up to the shoot, writing a script. First of all, there were so many people that gave me feedback that was really instrumental in turning it into what it became. But then also on set, bringing in the right actors, having an amazing DP and assistant director, and just everyone on set. There's a lot of close friends and also some new friends, but I just made sure that everyone there was someone that I really trusted, and anytime they brought something to me that I thought could add to the thing that I initiated, I was very happy to fold it in. So, I think this film is representative of my voice, but I think my voice is also like an amalgamation of the people that I surround myself with. So,
Yeah.
yeah, surround yourself with good people, and hopefully, good things come out of it.
Absolutely. Well said. I think that's a perfect place to end this wonderful interview. Thank you, Bone. I cannot speak. See, you just Will, your words were so powerful. It stopped anything. Thank you both so much for joining me today. Congratulations again. Everybody watching, you can see Daddy's Night Saturday, March 25th at the Cranford Theater in the Film Block, 4 to 6 p.m.
Cool.
Will, were you about to say something? Did you want to shout anything out?
No, I was just gonna wave goodbye.
All right, let's do a wave goodbye. Thank you guys so much. Congratulations. It's a wonderful film. Can't wait for everyone to see
Thanks.
it.
Really nice to
Thank
meet
you.
you. Thanks for
Nice
your
meeting you
time.
guys.
Bye.